Yo, it's time to somebody got to say it, and maybe it's just going to be me and the obvious person to say this, but just get an Xbox. Just get an Xbox. That is today's video as far as gaming. I've been obviously, kind of absent in terms of content creation because life be lifing and work be working. And but when I did have time, I was gaming, played South of Midnight, running it back again. And I did my review. Dope game. I think I want to do another video on South of Midnight, but I'm gonna wait to put that video out once the game is fully out for everyone, because I might talk about details that might be considered like spoiler. It's not a long game, man. It's not a long game, but it's a deep game, and it is definitely worth a podcast or so to discuss some of the subject matter in the game that people are finding out now is controversial. And I did touch up on that in my review a couple days ago. If you haven't seen my review of South of Midnight, man, the link is in the description below. It's my last video. But today's video, man, get an Xbox. I say that because obviously we just had the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal. I think there was a report that they're delaying pre-orders. The pricing, like I said, is up there, the games and whatnot. And this is not a slander Nintendo Switch video. The thing is that it's like, I'm not interested. I'm really not. It's not doing anything for me where I feel like, man, I gotta get a Switch 2. It's almost how I felt about the PS5 Pro when the PS5 Pro came out, and I determined like, hey, this is not really it. The only difference is once we got closer to release, I felt like that that the FOMO hit me, and then when I got it, played it for a month or two, immediately regretted, like, man, I don't need this. I really don't, and sold it. So. But the thing that's clear is that, yes, PlayStation has, like, with the PS5 Pro, they have the most powerful console out, but no compelling games. Nintendo has a new console coming out, but their games are extremely expensive. And it's looking like all in an expensive, device. It's compelling, sure. But what they're doing is they're changing kind of the market. And then obviously, time that up with, the Trump tariffs. Things are just looking quite expensive. And then I'm sitting back and I'm thinking about, my Game Pass subscription is doing work because while all of this is happening, PlayStation puts out a $700 console. Nintendo is putting out $90 games, right? This is the Xbox is releasing its best games that can be played on an Xbox or on a PC, and then a select few available right now on that will be available on PlayStation if you're playing over there. But I'm playing on Xbox primarily, whether it be the console or PC. And these new games are coming, and they're on Game Pass. Now, so far, everything that has been dropping on Xbox this year, or that has had Xbox marketing, or has been day one Game Pass, have been absolute bangers. Like, let me get it straight. Like, so anything outside of what Xbox has produced so far or had their hand in, those other games are what Split Fiction and what Kingdom Come Deliverance, right? Their Monster Hunter is the only that's a multi-plat as well, but I think that's only what PlayStation's like hands on it. Everything else, any gamer can get it and whatnot. Those are the games that aren't in Game Pass. But all the other games, obviously Assassin's Creed Shadows, dope game. Actually, I got to go back and finish that. But it's been Xbox and the others. And this is not to say that when Nintendo's going to drop, I want to say 3 great games this year. I think Metroid Prime is going to be great. I think Donkey Kong is going to be great, and Mario Kart is always great. But they're launching with controversy because of the higher price tag with those games. But when you factor in, playing on Xbox, one, it's a formidable console, Series S, Series X. The Xbox platform on PC, the Game Pass subscription. No, you're paying, I don't know how much Ultimate is now. I think it's somewhere between maybe $15 or $17. You're paying for that, and some of the best games have come out so far. The absolute best of gaming that I've enjoyed so far has been on Xbox Game Pass, with the exception of Assassin's Creed Shadows and Split Fiction, which I haven't opened yet or I haven't booted yet. So when you factor that in, it's like, okay, we had Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, the remake of that was awesome. It was day one in Game Pass, incredible game, beat that game. And you had Avowed, say what you say. I think Avowed is like an 80 something on Metacritic. So far is tied with my game of the year. We'll see what Assassin's Creed Shadow have to say about that by the time I finish that game. South of Midnight, I gave it a 7.5, not because I thought it was a bad game. It was more so because, in my opinion, underwhelming combat and then the bugs that I had to deal with, which I blame now on myself. I should have tried to research if the game had difficulty-related achievements, because if I just played the game on like normal, I probably wouldn't experience some of the things I experienced in the game. Like, because I don't know if they tested the game on like harder difficulties for these things to occur. So there was a couple game resetting bugs that I had to reset the game for that I had in the game. So that's what brought down the score, but for me. But I think that's like at around a 75 or 80 on Metacritic. I forget. But the thing is that South of Midnight is an incredible video game as far as visuals, storytelling, the subject matter, which only few games deal with certain subject matters. South of Midnight is one of them. What Remains of Edith Finch is another. I can't think of any other thought-provoking games that are out there. So South of Midnight, incredible game. And then you got Doom, which is coming up. The previews are very positive, and people are. I think this Doom is going to be the appropriate Doom, meaning the people that like Doom 2016, but then you had a group of people that didn't like Doom Eternal because they don't like all the verticality. I don't like the verticality in Doom. I don't like playing games where I have to like traverse in first person that way. Like, you know what I mean? It was good for the franchise. It was like, that change because it's not your standard first person shooter. But Doom in the Dark Ages seems more of my speed, and I think is going to be more accessible to a lot of people, and more people are going to have an appetite for it, and I think it's going to translate to a better game. And I think Doom typically scores at high 80s, low 90s, and I think Doom Dark Ages is probably going to land right there, and it might be arguably a Game of the Year contender. There is this game, Expedition 33, also coming out in a few weeks. That's a Game Pass Day 1 title, and that game is looking incredible. It's a turn-based RPG. It's a turn-off for me, so I actually have to sell myself on it. What's selling me on it is just the visuals, the story, the interactive turn-based. You know what I mean? And this is not a slight to like, Nintendo or PlayStation or anything like that, because some of these games I'm mentioning are on those platforms. But the thing is that all these games are on Game Pass, and these games look good on PC. They look good on the Xbox. Like, you know what I mean? There's like, in South of Midnight, just to give you guys a shout out to South of Midnight. South of Midnight literally looks incredible across PC, Xbox Series S, and Xbox Series X. Between the highest, I finished the game on Series X. I'm playing right now on PC, and to me right now, with all my settings maxed out, there's virtually no difference outside of in-game frame rate. Virtually no difference. I think what's happening when you consider, like, I think this month Xbox is also releasing Indiana Jones and Forza Horizon 5 on PlayStation, which Xbox, I don't know which quarter this is for Xbox, if it's Q1 or Q2, I don't know. But April is going to be a padded month for them because they have South of Midnight, which that's going to, obviously there's going to be sales from South of Midnight. There's going to be Game Pass subscriptions and the premium buys for South of Midnight. But it's also going to be padded by Forza Horizon 5 and Indiana Jones releasing on PlayStation. So they're going to have a good content month. But when you think about it as a consumer, all these games, all the pre-orders they're doing for Forza Horizon 5 and Indiana Jones right now on PlayStation, these games exist today on Xbox, on Xbox Game Pass, on Xbox Series X and S. They're incredible games. No, those games aren't going to get that much better than what they already are. So when you look at things from the perspective of like gaming is becoming more expensive, each game, like to the point people are going to have to affirm video games, like use Klarna and all this other stuff, or PayPal Pay in 4 for individual video games. That's insane. You know what I mean? That is insane. PlayStation 5 Pro made people do that with consoles, but damn, that is insane. And when you think about that fact, you're just like, okay, gaming is gaming, right? Like, I don't think PlayStation offers anything better today as for gaming than what Xbox does. I do think Xbox offers something better than PlayStation. So I think when you look at the grand scheme of things, the rising cost of gaming, the lack of releases, and look at who's releasing, who's putting out content, and where you're guaranteed, obviously with Xbox being a big publisher, you're guaranteed to get these games day one. You're guaranteed to get these in a subscription. We got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater in July. There's been a big game releasing on Xbox so far in 2025 every single month, whether Xbox being a first party publisher or they're grabbing it for Xbox Game Pass day one. There's been a quality game or 3 launching in the service, and some of these quality games I have not yet touched. I haven't even played Adamfall yet. So I say get an Xbox. This is probably the best time to get an Xbox, but it's crazy because if Microsoft had the foresight, right? They have the cheapest console ever, right? They have the answer to high cost game prices. They have the answer in Xbox Game Pass. All they had to do was put their efforts into marketing Game Pass at a high degree, marketing Xbox, selling the console, trying to sell the console, because right now, the most efficient, most affordable, best way to play video games right now is an Xbox. I don't understand how right now anyone is satisfied and happy playing on PlayStation, because content seems extremely light. Nintendo Switch, like I said, it's built in anticipation. You know what I mean? New hardware with new games is always an awesome thing. But when you look at historically, this is historically one of Nintendo's most expensive consoles. And then they said $70 games, we're hitting you with $80 and $90 games. And that's insane for their machine, which their machine is underpowered, in my opinion. I have no interest in getting it at this moment, not right now. But I'm very content. This is the first time where I'm content. Like, there's nothing on PlayStation that I really want to indulge in, where I feel like I need to bring the PlayStation 5 into my space or need to upgrade to a PS5 Pro. And Nintendo, it's like, I did a Nintendo Switch thing before, wasn't happy with it. It doesn't seem like they're doing anything drastic now, just a better version of what came out 7 years ago. And that's that. But when you look at Xbox, when you look at they're producing at a high rate, their content is coming at a steady pace, and it's affordable, and these have been very, very good games. So get an Xbox. You won't regret it. That's it for the video, guys, today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I will read them. I will reply. And show me love. Show me love. Give me a hug, and subscribe to the channel, and get me back in the algorithm, because I know I've been on. I kind of fell way back. That's why the views are very low, but I'm trying to do some daily content. All right, guys, Xbox is the best box. I am the best bot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. I am out of here. Peace.